Do you still remember the feeling that you had when you first discovered poker? And is it that now, after 5 or 10 years, you discovered that poker becomes less and less enjoyable and you're thinking about quitting the game? If that's the case, make sure to watch this video. To give you guys a little bit of a background story, I've been playing poker for almost a decade. I started playing poker in Noosa, Australia in 2009. I was playing free rolls 2-3 times each week. And I still remember how excited I was to get to play poker, during those nights. And to get straight away to the point, this video is about poker and fun. Poker has become much less fun over the last 9 years or so for me. But that doesn't necessarily mean that, I have to find something other than poker. I just have to basically investigate and see, okay, what is it really that made poker fun back then? And how is that element not so much the case anymore today? The first aspect I want to look at is expectation. When I started playing poker, all I wanted is to play poker. So my expectations were, well, I get to play the game. Awesome, right? So not really many expectations at all. But then these days, after studying the game for a lot of hours, after becoming a winning player, winning a bunch of money, I developed a little bit of an entitlement towards the game where I would expect to win more often than not in cash games, and a kind of biased way to look at tournaments as well, because in tournaments the majority of the time you're going to lose, maybe 85% of the time, and 15% of the time you're going to min cash up to win an event. So winning event is going to be a very rare case, so losing becomes the rule and winning becomes the exception, and that's a really hard reality of poker to accept. And if you have the wrong expectations in that can obviously kill the fun of poker quite a bit. Another very important word here is focus. As a beginner, you'll be constantly focused on what kinds of hands you're playing, what kinds of hands your opponents are playing, how you can win, how you can get better, and how you just figure out the game. However, over the years, again, when it comes to your focus, you have so many other options. You can focus on bad variants. You can see how bad you run or how good others run, especially when you look at too much social media these days. You can always see when somebody posts that they've won a big event, and that also is a survivorship bias where you could just constantly see the good sides of poker where people are winning. And if you consume too much of that, you would think that you actually deserve similar than that, but it's just such a selective, non-reality based post that you're seeing day by day that you just have to get rid of that. Your focus cannot be on that, and I would highly recommend that, especially if you're struggling to win at poker at all, to not consume too much social media, because you might be thinking that everyone else is winning, whereas the reality of poker is the majority out there, probably over 90% by quite a bit, are losing players. So by consuming too much social media of people who are actually winning at poker, you might get a really bad mindset about the game, and you might become frustrated thinking that so many players are winning so much money at this game, but you're not. So having that focus in place is super important. Next to your expectations and your focus, there is probably the biggest factor when it comes to poker and fun that can kill it. And that's going to be the sacrifices. There's so many sacrifices that you can make when it comes to playing poker that can kill the fun forever. And the first big sacrifice, I guess, for the majority of you guys out there is that you're losing more money than you can afford. You're just losing, keep on losing. And the sacrifice is that you have to work for that kind of money, get it for poker, and you're losing it at poker, and it's just too much. You spend so much time playing poker and spend so much time making money for them playing poker that in the end you think it's too much of a sacrifice. Well, there's an easy solution for that. You just have to find a game that you can afford, that you can still play poker for just a more moderate budget. Or you can improve your poker game, lose less money at the game that you're enjoying, and have less of that sacrifice. The second sacrifice you might be making is sacrificing your health. I already talked about it in a previous video. You can find it up here. But what I want to mention in poker and health and the sacrifice you could be making, you could do a lot of things. You could, for example, take substances that are beneficial short term, too much caffeine, sugar, and whatnot, just to push yourselves to play poker longer today. And then tomorrow you might regret it as you just get into that low where you just have no energy at all. So you have like a sugar spike and then go back into that low state afterwards. You also might eat way more calories than you should be taking. You might be not exercising at all or not moving your body at all. Just neglect that part completely and just focus on the task of playing poker, of studying poker, and then completely sacrificing your health. The third sacrifice that you might be making to kill the fun at poker is sacrificing time. And whereas I might be having regrets later on in life about using so much time for poker and everything, what I do know already is that I have regrets of using time of pursuing nothing at times in my life. Really getting lazy, not doing anything at all, and just, dabbling between things and not pursuing something, very targeted. For example, getting good at poker, becoming as good as I possibly can be. So I might as well just go after it, and try it as long as I'm on this earth, instead of just, constantly looking for the next best thing. And it's really something that I cannot bring up enough, and it's in this book called Mastery by George Leonard, and it's been discussed in that book about being a dabbler and just always looking for the next best thing. And it's actually something that might be dangerous for you. That's just an idea, so if you want to read about it, make sure to check out the book. It's certainly been bringing up some thoughts that I didn't have myself personally. I couldn't have come up with it. So it has helped me a lot to think differently, think a little bit outside the box when it comes to, how I want to go about poker moving forward. Unfortunately, I cannot give you the perfect blueprint of how to make poker fun again. However, I got some ideas for you. The first thing is to start playing mixed games. Just recently, here in Vegas, I played 4-card PLO, 2 boards, so double board bomb pot PLO, and it was more enjoyable than all the other 50 hours I've played here in Vegas this summer so far, because I just had to figure out the game. I was more involved. I had to develop my strategy a little bit more because I wasn't really, certain with some of my decisions. So I was autopiloting less, and all these bad effects that are happening to you as you play poker for a longer time. So that is certainly going to be a great way on how to make poker fun again. The second solution to this is much less intuitive, and just until recent months I haven't even thought about it. And that is, maybe you don't need poker to be fun. Fun is certainly not the fuel that I have these days to play poker. These days I just want to play poker as well as possible, become better as a poker player, and just stay a student, try to improve, and not really go after this more hedonic notion of, just trying to enjoy the game, but just to do well at it. And I can still have a good time, outside of poker, and trying to find some new hobbies, which I kind of have struggled with, to find some new things that I enjoy doing just for fun, to relax, and just keep poker really the thing that I want to pursue to become super good at it. And that's basically the solution I'm going with. And hope that might help some of you out there. If you experience exactly this of enjoying poker less, let me know in the comment section below. Or maybe you got a friend who who enjoys poker less. Make sure to send him this video, and really, I'd be so curious to hear what you guys have to say on this topic, and just let me know in the comment section here below. I hope also that you got some value out of this video. If you did, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to this channel to get some more poker videos just like this in the future. My name is Andreas Fröhlich, and over and out. Thanks for watching.